This is a public service announcement, okay? Let me tell you something. For the past couple of days, I've had several men that's trying to pursue me, and I'm just like, please leave me alone, because I'm just not, I'm not there, you know? But this is the reason why, okay? I'm not there because these men be reaching out to me and be like, are you looking for something serious, or are you just looking to have fun? What do you mean have fun?
What?
Well, it seems pretty obvious to me. By fun, they mean they want to take you out to a nice seafood dinner, then maybe find an adult-sized ball pit and just kind of goof around for like 20 minutes before getting some ice cream and laughing at some street performers. Woman, what else could he have meant? You should actually be kind of relieved that the guy was asking you if you were looking for something serious or casual up front. That way, nobody's time is being wasted. How can you possibly get offended by that? You're clearly on a dating app and nobody can tell if you're looking for something casual or serious until they ask. You have no right to get angry, you stupid broad, and for the record, it's probably not a good idea to film yourself in the office complaining about the lack of class in your dating prospects. It's really not a professional look for you, but then again, who cares? You obviously don't.
I don't know what fun looks like. I haven't seen fun since 2009, okay? Do you mean fun as in like, let me be on your insurance, on your health insurance. Let's share a car insurance policy. Let's share bills together. That's the kind of fun I'm looking for, okay? If you ain't got that to offer me, then don't waste my time. I ain't got time to waste on a conversation, okay? I'm 32, okay? I'm not looking for anything less than a husband.
Hey.
Yeah, that's not happening. For starters, most self-respecting men aren't going to bother with a woman who thinks insurance policies are fun, nor are they willing to entertain the notion of marrying up a used bag of damaged goods simply because she wants better health insurance. And that man is certainly not going to waste his hard-earned money to pay the bills of a woman who clearly has made poor career choices if she can't pay her own bills like a strong and independent woman should. Not only that, but the sheer level of immaturity you're showing by your non-stop whining over the fact that there isn't a man who is just willing to blindly let you risk increasing his insurance premiums isn't helping your case at all. Your sense of entitlement is all but guaranteed your fate of you dying alone and ending up as a bowel movement for your collective of cats.
You hear me? You hear me? And if you ain't got that offer, keep on trekking by. Keep on trekking by. Because I'm not it. I'm a whole wife. Okay? A wife. Okay? This ain't it. This generation, are you looking to just have fun? You look like you would be the type to have fun with. Boy, bye. Bye. If you ain't ready to be a stepdaddy, keep on. Leave me alone. There ain't nothing fun about me. Okay?
This discussion is going in circles. So we're gonna go now. Okay?
Woman, why are you thinking saying goodbye to a dude who wants nothing to do with you is some kind of a flex? It's really not. It just makes you look stupid. Not that you need any help in that department, but here's a more important question for you. If you're a wife, then why aren't you married? The reason why men aren't asking to wife you up is because you grew up during the hookup generation, and instead of settling down with a decent guy, you went ahead and threw him into the friend zone while you chased after Chad. And anytime that wasn't focusing on trying to get a top-tier man, was focused on a meaningless career that clearly is making you miserable. And you're a single mother. When a self-respecting man sees that, they immediately see a leech with trust issues. So naturally, the only kind of men who'd be remotely interested in you would be the dudes who just want to have some alone time with your greasy hell portal of unrelenting agony. The good men aren't gonna just swoop in and fix the pieces of your life that you wantonly destroyed, because they have better things to do with their time, like playing golf with a tennis ball and a baseball bat. Yeah, that might sound childish, but it's a hell of a lot more fun than trying to see your stretch marks.
The real reason why men date younger women is not because of their physical appearance, their bodies. No, because today with plastic surgery and everything else, you barely know who is 40 and who is 18.
Mildred! Hey, Mildred! Mildred, wait up!
Oh my god, hey Mildred, how long has it been? Man alive, look at you, you look god awful. You see you're still caking on those 9 pounds of makeup on your face before entertaining your 14 followers, am I right? Man, some things will never change because from a mile away, I can totally tell you're past the age of 35 and offer zero value to the human race. Still putting on that terrible TikTok cringe? Well, of course you are. You can't help yourself, Mildred. You see, salty battle axes such as yourself cannot fathom the idea of self-respecting men actually wanting a younger woman. It simply doesn't compute because back when you were younger, you were used to men putting up with your crappy attitude and lack of any personality because you were mildly pretty so long as you kept your mouth shut and your legs wide open. But now that you're not even worth that, it's society and men to blame for your obvious lack of any worth to that society. So, how's that cope tasting, by the way?
Guys date younger women because they're easily manipulated. They're gonna be very happy with a few crumbs because maybe they didn't experience much in the world. They're gonna be just easily impressed. And it's way cheaper to date a younger girl.
Dear God in heaven, gentlemen, what is it like to be so wrong?
Oh, Mildred, there you go, acting like you have a thought in that vacuum-sealed cheese packet you call a brain. You see, Mildred, the reason why men are attracted to younger women has less to do with psychological mind games and more to do with that pesky little thing called biology. Now, I know you only passed high school because you allegedly let the vice principal stare at your boobs for 20 minutes, but so I'm gonna do you a favor and try to use as simple language as possible, okay? You see, men are able to reproduce well into old age, but in order to do that, they need young, fertile women to do so. It is our natural drive to find them. And when we see dried up, crusty old crones, much like yourself, for example, all we see is a woman who wastes every possible resource at her disposal. And you had multiple chances, but you threw them away simply because you thought you were entitled to more. So now, instead of taking any accountability for your actions, or lack thereof, you're going to blame the very same men that you chased after when you were younger and of minimum value. And while we're on that particular subject, if you were stupid and cheap 15 years ago, that must mean you are now stupid and just plain old crusty under your own logic. It's just something to ponder, and on that note, I hope that boxed wine you mainline doesn't pickle your liver too quickly, but if I'm being real, I couldn't care less if it did. Great to see you again, Mildred.
That's why starting an OnlyFans was the worst decision I made in my life.
That's why I praise the Lord for prostitutes.
Did not realize that I was literally selling parts of my soul and the money could have never made it worth it. I just wish that someone would have warned me and told me that I was going to be later experiencing PTSD from the sexual trauma and the experiences that I was subjecting myself to on a daily basis. I did not know that I would later need to be in trauma counseling. It brought me into way darker places than I ever could have imagined, and I never want to go back there.
You blew it. Capiche?
Yeah, if only there was some kind of a resource in a massive electronic database that contained video testimonials of workers in the adult industry. Man, somebody should have invented some kind of an engine that you can use to search the internet in order to look up the rates of mental illness and premature life termination for those who work in that kind of an industry. If only there was such a thing as morals, shame, and common sense. The industry you entered is notorious for completely ruining women to the point where they can't even be seen at the grocery store. It has a massive underbelly of drug addiction, psychological trauma, and complete destruction of the soul. And you would have known this if you had bothered to do a 5-minute Google search, you simpleton. Nobody needed to warn you. All you needed to do was have a little bit more common sense than none at all. But apparently, even that was too tall of an order to fill.
I wish I could go back in time to who I was before I started doing all that stuff and just tell myself that the money is not worth it. Keep your happiness. And that's all I want to tell any girl who's thinking about starting an account. I just hope I can save even just one girl from going through the pain and the trauma that I am now going through because I subjected myself to that for the last couple years.
Nice try.
And I wish I could go back in time and invest in the salad shooter when it first launched. What's your point? Openly displaying your regrets on the internet is gonna fall on deaf ears because your old profession openly promotes promiscuity and insane amounts of money in an irresponsibly glamorous style. But what's really sad about this whole situation is that I have trouble judging the sincerity of your video. For all I know, you could be doing this as a legitimate warning to impressionable young women out there, and if that's the case, good on you. But at the same time, you could also be fishing for likes, views, and comments in hopes of trying to springboard a social media career. Either one is plausible, and it's impossible to tell nowadays. So even if you are being genuine, what difference does it make? You could have easily prevented this by simply realizing that getting naked for the entire planet on the internet might have been a bad idea. And this is something that people have known throughout society for centuries. You don't get naked in the public square unless you're expecting a man to pay for it.
That's why I say prostitutes, prostitutes.
I was just stood up on a date and it was the most humiliating experience ever. Story time, met this guy on a dating app and he immediately asked me out on a date to a specific restaurant. He confirmed day of, I get to the restaurant and see that he's nowhere to be found. Well, I reach out, no response. I check the app and notice that he unmatched me. And because I had put in so much effort, I thought I might as well just have a meal while I am in the building. And it wasn't until I got home when I was scrolling Facebook and I saw a very similar story from a girl at that same restaurant who also got stood up. She found out that there are restaurants now posing as people on dating apps just so you go to their business, and once you get stood up, they know that probably 9 times out of 10 that you're going to buy something from them.
You gotta leave it to the free market economy to figure out a new and creative way to profit off the loneliness of women. You know, I gotta admit, this is kinda brilliant. Men and women have been using dating apps to catfish and ghost for the last decade and a half, so it was only a matter of time before businesses got in on the action. And all you have to do to see if this would work is look at the countless videos of women bragging about how they used men for food dates. So now restaurants are cutting out the middleman and bringing the profits directly to their doorstep. Just imagine the savings these guys are making on advertising. It wouldn't surprise me if in the next few years this becomes a big thing across all sorts of food businesses. I could see mom and pop bakeries being forced to do this just to keep afloat, but from the looks of it, I don't think Grammy Murphy would lose any sleep over catfishing a woman into her business. After she sees that multicolored hair and sleeve of god-awful tattoos, Grammy Murphy will have no problem selling her brownies by the tray. When the hell else is she gonna see that kind of free money? And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. As always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Let's give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.